Now I'm super delighted to invite up my friend and Luma Advisory Board member, David Kenny, to come on up and join me on stage. There you are. All right.
Hello. My name is Watson.
So, yeah, nice little...
Yeah, I've heard that voice before.
Yes, you have. Watson. Number one, congratulations on the sale of Weather to IBM.
Thank you.
We're going to come back to that. I want to know how you did that. But let's start off with let's start off with that. How'd you do that?
So when I went to Weather from Akamai, I had a growing interest in two things: IoT, Internet of Things, and sensors, and which I thought was going to change computing, and deep learning. And weather was interesting to me because it's the largest unstructured data set in the Earth. So I looked at what Google did with Google Maps, and I said, what if we could do the same thing with the atmosphere? It's 100 kilometers thick, it's always in motion, lots of unstructured data. So we just built a huge sensor network, and we redid all the models so that we could actually map the whole atmosphere every 15 minutes for over 3 billion locations on Earth, which changed weather. It got us pre-installed in iOS. It got us as the default in Google Now. So as that got built out, we started to do 26 billion calculations a day and prove that it could be an IoT network. And I really thought, we'd ditch the TV station network at some point and take that public and build a new platform with sensor data. But IBM had the same idea, so they came knocking, and for a certain number of $1 billion, sell.
So maybe we should be thinking of it in the same lines as Google buying Nest. That was a hardware play, clearly.
Yep.
You were more of a software data play, but it's sort of addressing massive structured, unstructured
well, listen, I think Nest is also a route to data.
Yep.
Google loves data as much as IBM does.
Sure.
So yeah, it was exactly the same kind of logic, and there's a lot of industrial use cases out of this. IBM's a little more enterprise focused than consumer, and it fit very well.
Fascinating. So for the audience, you run Watson, and to us, probably our familiarity with Watson is either on Jeopardy or those really cool commercials where you have famous authors and celebrities talking to Watson. Tell us, what is Watson?
Well, and now we have real people, because my new rule is that the ads have to show products that exist today, because luckily we've gotten to that point. So Watson is a bunch of algorithms. There's three things it does. The first is it learns structured and unstructured data at an unprecedented scale. So the patient history of every patient at Memorial Sloan Kettering ever in the history of the hospital. The legal code, accounting rules. So it can learn at a very fast rate a lot of data. It then uses that data to reason. So it turns it into decisions. A lot of that's deductive reasoning. I see this patient, I've seen other patients like it before, therefore my confidence is you have this. Or the reasoning in Jeopardy was just, it memorized Wikipedia is how it did Jeopardy, and then it would reason what the question was. But we're beginning to do more abductive reasoning, which is a little more of a give and take kind of thing. And then the third thing it does is interact naturally with humans. So the stuff that the commercials are made of, it can speak, it knows multiple languages, it can see.
And things like the nuances like tone, it can understand because you can use the same words different ways. Can it pick up tone and meaning in voices?
Yeah, well, in voices and in text, right? So I would say we've been working to differentiate on emotional cues in a few languages. So we do that by watching what people say. It actually had Watson do Terry Kawaja. So it took all your tweets. There's a slide here. It took all your tweets and it analyzed your personality. So there you are.
61% gregariousness. Okay, I think it's a little low.
Yeah.
Wow.
You're very open. You're very extroverted.
Wow.
A lot of self-expression. Not as high-end self-enhancement as I thought. So, but that means your willingness to learn from others versus express yourself. So it kind of captured you pretty well, Terry, actually.
All right.
So.
36% trust. Be mindful of bankers. That's actually pretty cool. Is that retail? Is that available to people to? No.
No. If you're listen, anybody who codes can do this. You can go on to Bluemix, which is our developer platform, And Bob Lord's going to make that even better. That's his job. This is one of his jobs. He's got a lot of jobs. But go on there and use personality insights and put in a Twitter code and away you go.
Wow. So give me an example of a use case in our world. So media and marketing, how will the potential for the AI of Watson to sort of provide solutions in this sector?
Yeah, so listen, I think we've all, was in this sector a long time, still connected to it. We're always trying to find the right message and the right tone to the right person at the right time in a dialogue, I think. So I would say, first of all, it's real time. The chances to actually have real interaction, real communication with a message is going to change. The chance to really understand the person you're talking to and what you need so that it kind of turns everything into a service moment, I think is where this can go. A number of brands are working with this to really make their brands more accessible. And a lot of brands use it for customer service, so virtual agent support or live agent support. So that's the beginning of what I think will be a real-time discussion between people and brands.
So earlier, Dick Filippini, my colleague, was talking about the onslaught of bots.
Yep.
And how bots are the new thing, people using it for customer service, and how messaging is basically becoming your sort of mobile homepage where you can do basically everything off those sort of the new browser platform.
Yep.
How could you see Watson figuring into that equation?
Well, listen, when I go back to interact naturally with humans, we power a lot of bots.
Right.
It's important that bots have a brain. So there's a lot of front-end bots. There's a lot of sort of clever interface.
Right.
But it's what you say under it. So when we're doing radiology under it, or oncology under it, or accounting under it, or legal support under it, we're bringing a lot of domain expertise. And I think that's one of our unique contributions here to this movement, which make the bots smarter. So the bots aren't just trying to sell you shampoo. The bots can be solving real-life problems with you. But absolutely, they're going to be in our lives in a fundamental way.
Are people going to have to provide releases to Watson? I mean, how does the whole legal construct work? If a machine is thinking about and giving answers, and people rely on that, you want to make sure that it's accurate. Is there how will that work, you think, in the future?
Well, some people have allowed the public to train their bots, and that it doesn't always go so well. So our training tends to be by domain.
Got it.
And it's accredited, right? So it has to take a radiology exam, or it has to
Watson takes a radiology
to
exam.
pass the CPA, right? So you have to really make sure it knows what it says it knows.
Sure.
When it learns languages, we make it be done natively, not just by translation. So there's a lot of things you do to act. You're training it the way we train each other, the way we train our children. So I would say you train, you accredit, you test, and then you come back and you test again. I think crowdsourcing is really important to make sure things are right, but there's a real responsibility if Watson and its colleagues are going to be important contributors to decision making. We need to make sure they are experts.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, what I find fascinating about this is it's so beyond simple computing. This is not just facts. This is actually getting into the nuances of human beings, which is, I guess, what we all talk about in terms of AI and the singularity, I guess. How does that manifest itself, though, in terms of the human condition? So does Watson have a sense of humor?
We're working on that.
Work.
It still is trained, right? Yeah. So it can learn humor. It can tell where somebody's being cynical. It can tell emotions. But does it produce it on its own? It's working on it. It's working on it creatively.
So coming back to the media and marketing space, I could clearly see applications where this technology can be used to sort of replace or disrupt the existing sort of science side of things. Does that mean that in the sort of ad marketing world, at least the creatives are safe for now?
No, I don't think the creatives are safe because it's Watson passed a poetry test, right? So that's actually won a poetry contest. So I'm going to show you that. So do you have this haiku thing?
It won a poetry contest.
It did with humans. So this is the Watson haiku maker. So give me 5 words, Jerry.
5 words.
Yep. One will be digital because that's
digital
your word. Yeah.
Deals.
Buyers.
This
is not going to be an interesting haiku.
Sellers. Money.
All right, this is going to take a minute. It thinks. It doesn't just put it out. It's got to like process this real time.
This is happening live.
No,
This is not canned.
We can talk about that. And later I have to show you to actually analyze the LumaScape too. It can't make a LumaScape yet, but it can assess the personality of LumaScape.
I'm safe.
For a while.
For now.
For a while.
For now. Wayne, don't worry.
Well, no, but this, on the way to the back, the black to the green trunk of candlelight. So it was inspired by those words.
Okay. Well. Or it just randomly generated that.
Or it found nothing poetic about what you had to say.
And more likely it found nothing poetic about what...
All right, but bring up the LumaScape, because this is my favorite story.
Okay.
So cancel, undo, all that. So there's so many LumaScapes. IBM wasn't there. Actually, IBM turned out to be a strategic buyer for me, so you missed that one. It's down the
Inner circle, upper left.
Yeah, but it's not.
Of course.
Right. So, but it finds itself to the middle. It thought maybe the top was more relevant than the bottom. So it then did that same personality insight on everything that comes out of Google and out of Microsoft.
Wait a second. This is Watson analyzed the LumaScape.
It did, yeah. It analyzed all the logos. So it kind of said, do you fit better in Google or do you fit better in Microsoft? So Google is the place for assertiveness, and Microsoft is the place for those of you who are achievement striving. And Google is a lot more cheerful than Microsoft. So you got to figure out where your personality fits.
Wow.
So these are the words of Google and Microsoft for people for things they tweet and things people tweet about them. So it's everybody who used at Google or at Microsoft.
And Watson would know.
And Watson would know.
I want to talk about from a career perspective now. So we can
get rid of that.
Luma, plays in the intersection of media, marketing, and technology.
Yep.
And your career has been, there's probably no one that's had more of an intersection-like career. You've had jobs in media, you've had jobs in marketing, and you've had jobs in technology. Mm-hmm. Many people find it hard to port from one to the other. You didn't just go to like a digital technology company. You went to a technology company, and now you're doing it again with IBM. How have you managed that left brain, right brain sort of what would otherwise be considered a natural conundrum?
Yeah, so my brain's kind of weird. The center of it all is data, right? So I would say the whole, following the algorithms to start Digitas led to different algorithms with Publicis and then Akamai and then Weather. So and now deep learning and AI. So for me, it's always been following the data. I've been at this conference since the beginning.
Yep.
Your intersection has a lot to do with data. I think we've followed a data path. I think if you define your career around data, you got a lot more choices. And for me, it's been fascinating. And I've worked with great people. I do again. The Watson team's amazing. Super, super smart group of PhDs who do all this stuff. But it's all about finding new things out of the data and finding new sources of data.
So you're a guy well experienced in the media and marketing world. Show up at IBM. You've brought Bob Lord on. Babs Rangaya has joined. Yep. And you guys...
We got plenty of openings, too.
Yeah,
so.
and there you go.
We're growing.
Next to Marissa Meyer as the best recruiter. I
keep mine.
Yeah, okay. You can keep yours. And Ginny for now. Tell me about... so you guys have made some moves of late. You've been buying ad agencies. What's the mission of IBM, and how does it think of itself, in the digital media and marketing space?
Well, I think the movement IBM's trying to lead right now is this movement to cognitive, using intelligent computing, backed by the cloud. Watson only runs on cloud computing now. So Jeopardy was the last time it ran on a mainframe. So this movement to cloud computing and this movement to cognitive together, the journeys we're taking our clients on in every aspect of their business. Mm-hmm. Marketing and customer management are at the front end of that. So of course you want to make that work and then have that connect to the rest of the system. So I think we're really focused on helping clients, governments, enterprises, developers of all sorts of sizes of companies manage that transition. So that's what it's about. The agencies and the whole services business really helps clients. Mm-hmm. They need that. They need a different skill set. We like to work with other agencies as well, but I think we felt we needed, for a number of our clients, they just needed us in it to help them get to the next phase.
Might we see IBM getting more aggressive in this space to have a broader set of capabilities or complementary capabilities to what you're already doing?
Yeah, listen, I think IBM's going to invest in lots of ways to build this out. I believe that this movement of AI is as much a change as the browser was. When I first got started at Digital, like, bots is just the front end of that. If computing is intelligent and we're accessing it real time as humans, it'll change it. It'll change the way we drive, it'll change the way we work, change where we live. So being at the center of helping the world get there is a great mission, and we'll do whatever it takes to win. We're not going to own it all. We'll partner a lot, but we're going to lead it, and I think it's a really fun, awesome mission to be on right now.
It's absolutely fascinating, and I can't think of a better catbird seat than the one you're currently in. David Kenny, thank you very much.
Glad to be here.